Business Center. Now, is Kenya Airways on its way up? That's perhaps the question many observers posed when it emerged that billionaire industrialist Dr. Kirubi has bought an additional 2 million shares in the financially troubled national carrier. Could he be the perfect illustration of an investor who has chosen to be greedy when others are afraid? To quote from the renowned American billionaire investor Warren Buffett, well, we've got Kirubi live on phone to tell us what informed his decision to pump in more money in KQ. Chris, thank you so much for joining us on phone. 11 million shillings worth of shares. And I read your report on the Capital FM website where you say KQ needs to be saved through investments and not debt, saying that is what informed your decision. But you are also a shrewd businessman, Chris. It couldn't just be all about saving KQ, could it?
No, I think, is it me now?
Yes, Chris, over to you.
Yes. I believe Kenya will be a very poor country without an airline, and we need all to be patriotic. Kenya Airways has made some mistakes, but we need to save that airline. It will cost us much more without an airline, and therefore, for me, it's not how much money I spend on it, it's how much we try to help to save the airline. It is very crucial that we save the airline.
Chris, absolutely, and I believe the majority of Kenyans believe that it is absolutely crucial to save the airline. But my question was, is it all about saving KQ, or are you seeing something else that the rest of investors are not seeing?
Well, you know, I'm a smart investor. If other investors who track my record, they'll find that when I started buying Centum shares, nobody in Kenya wanted to touch Centum shares. ICDC shares were trading at below par many years ago. That company never produced any dividend. It never bought shares, it never sold shares. It was just a kind of a dormant business. But I believed in it. I put enough money in it. Eventually I took over the leadership, and you can look at Centum today. The rest is history. I believe Kenya Airways, with the right management, leadership, government commitment, and appreciation by everybody in this country, that this airline belongs to all of us, and especially if we can expand the flow of traffic from Kenya to look at the whole of East Africa. We need a functioning airline. We cannot be a destination of development without an airline.
All right, Chris, that is absolutely true. Now, some are of the opinion that unless the partnership with KLM is put aside, perhaps the way forward for Kenya Airways is really bleak, so to speak. Is there a possibility of new conversations about a new partner, perhaps?
You know, you cannot give a leopard your sheep to look after it. KLM is it's of no value to Kenya Airways. We need to have them exit the space, and we need to allow Kenyans to invest and government to invest so that we can own the airline and we can do the right thing for this airline. I think the sooner we decide on policy issues, the sooner we take over the ownership of the airline, the better.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Chris Kirubi there joining us live on phone, telling us why he has just put in about 11 million shillings worth of shares to Kenya Airways.